Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tilly and in today's video I'm going to explain how I taped my nose. So just a little disclaimer, some surgeons believe in taping, some don't. Even those that do believe in taping, maybe they're going to give you a different way of taping. I don't know. This is just the way that my doctor told me to tape, so yeah. So I tape my nose 24/7 for about 3 months post-op, and then after that I just taped at night. This can vary depending on your doctor and each individual patient as well. My doctor said I just needed to tape until 3 months. I'd give him updates on a weekly basis. And when I hit 3 months, he said you can stop and just tape at night. And then I taped just at night until I was around about 7.5, 8 months post-op. So yeah, and they just recently had to stop doing it constantly, which has been nice, to be honest with you, to free the nose. So you're going to start off with your surgical tape. I will put all the details in the description of what I buy. And you just start off with a small piece because it's going to go at the top of your nose here at the bridge. So you're going to get this little piece and you're going to push down hard on your nose, like it's quite a lot of pressure. Obviously you can't use a lot of pressure when you're fresh out of surgery because it will hurt and it will damage your nose. This is more for like when you're a good, month out. And then you're going to get your next little piece of tape, and this one's going to be just a little bit longer, not by much. And you're going to apply that just below. So that's where that one is. I'm just going to use my mirror because the viewfinder's too small. And you're going to apply that just below the piece of tape you've put on. And again, applying pressure and dragging the tape down to really, because I feel like people don't understand what tape does. It's supposed to stop your nose from swelling up. It can't do that if you're just placing tape on your nose. You need to be quite, a bit more tough than you'd think. Obviously, again, not at first because you'll hurt yourself, but yeah, you need to apply pressure. And then again, another piece of tape, the third one, just a little bit longer because this one's going to go at the tip, or like not at the tip, you'll see in a sec, like up, again, right underneath the piece of tape that you've just applied above. And then I don't know if you can see, but it stops just before the tip of your nose like lifts up, if it lifts, or if it was going to lift, that's where it would be. And then your next piece of tape is going to be quite a long piece, like that. And you're going to cut that off, and then you're going to get it, and this is quite fiddly. And then you're going to fold it in half with the sticky bit facing outward. I use the scissors and then pinch the end, because what you're going to do is you're going to cut off a little triangle. Ooh. So that you're left with something that looks a bit like that, if that makes any sense. And then you're going to use this underneath, like so. So you're going to do this so it just covers your nostrils a little bit, not a lot. And then you're going to pull up and straight. And you're going to press down, like keep the tape down at the top of your nose, and then apply pressure with your other fingers. Again, it looks like so fiddly. It's not that bad. And really stick this one down because it has a tendency to lift up. And you're going to do that again, but this time placing the tape so it wouldn't touch your nostrils at all, just a little bit further up. And you're also going to keep that little triangle that you've just cut out because you're going to use it in a minute. So again, long piece, fold in half, cut out a triangle. Oop. It gets so sticky everywhere. And then again, just a little bit further up the nose, like so, and pull at the same time to lift the nose up, like that. There we go. I've actually done this way too long. Like you can see it's on my eye. There is no need for that, so I'm just gonna cut it. Just using my mirror over there. Being super careful to not chop off my eyelashes. And there we go, and that applies pressure to this point here of your nose so that you don't get like that droopy thing that can happen. And I think that's because people don't tape. And then again, you're going to save that little triangle. I just stick them on the back of my hand. Oh, if I can get it off my finger. Yeah, you can save those little triangles because you're going to need them in a minute. And then you're going to cut off a longer piece of tape. Sorry, a shorter piece of tape, but longer because it's at the end of your nose. So you've taped first layer, you've taped going down, then you've taped this one at the tip, and now we're going to tape going up. I don't know why, that's just why my doctor told me, so that's what I'm doing. And you're going to do the exact same thing, just laying down those long pieces of tape that are lifting up your tip. So you don't have to pull too hard on those long pieces because they're not here to actually lift your tip up. They're here to stop the swelling. They're not here to like reshape your nose. That's not what taping is for. Taping is to keep everything in place and to stop the swelling from appearing. It's not to create a different shape of your nose. So be curious below, like, does anyone else have to tape? Like, did you have to tape for your nose drop? Okay, and then you're left with something that looks a little bit like this. That makes sense. So you can see just the tip of the nose is poking out. Everything's definitely quite compacted down. You can see here the pressure on the nose creates a proper little like bump there. That's because I've taped quite hard. Now for the next and last step, I feel like this is never used, like I feel like my surgeon's the only one that does this, but I have a little piece of like craft sponge paper, like I don't know what to call that. And I bought this just on Amazon because he gave me a like medical sponge one, but it's literally just craft paper. And I wanted a fresh one because I like to replace them a little bit more often. So it's quite thin, as you can see. And what I do is I fold it in half, this skinny little piece that I've cut off. And then I get the triangle of tape left over from taping our tip up. And I just like tape it around these little folded in half pieces. It doesn't have to be perfect or pretty, it's just so that you don't have to fiddle with like pinning down both sides. You can just concentrate on taping this little piece of sponge down because it's quite fiddly, I'm not gonna lie. And then you're left with something that looks a bit like this. Once you have that, you're then going to get a longer piece of tape because we're going to start from the bottom again. We're taping upwards. And you're going to grab your little sponge thing and you're going to place it in the centre of the tape, like so. And then you're going to bring it up and you're going to tape it in the middle of your nose, and again pressing down and taping this little sponge thing to your face. So what this does is it distributes the pressure essentially of your swelling. So when you take this off, you will actually have like a little indent in your nose, which is quite funny. And then again, the middle piece, being super careful to keep it centered and pressing down like that. There we go. And then just the last one at the top. And then the final piece right at the top, making sure it's dead centered and pressing down. Again, quite hard. And that's it, that's how you tape your nose. So it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not pretty, it's not perfect, but it's not something that I was ever embarrassed to go out with. I feel like some people do get quite embarrassed that they have to wear tape 24/7 in front of family or friends or just out in public. I never did, I never have. Like when I travel, I still do this just to avoid swelling up while I'm in the plane. Because that happens with the change in cabin pressure. And yeah, I don't know, I just never felt embarrassed. I think, you know, you've had the courage to go through this, you love your new nose, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look after it. And yeah, I feel like it makes my nose look so snatched, like especially when you're like going through those first few weeks of swelling, like I don't know, with the tape, I just love the nose way more. So yeah, I hope this can help. I'm actually going to also take this tape off to show you how to remove it because that's just as important, because you don't want to go ripping this off because that'll separate your skin. Okay, I'm going to remove my tape now. It's been like an hour or so. So to remove my tape, I recommend using coconut oil. I just use virgin coconut oil. You can remove your tape with just water, but it leaves behind like a sticky residue, like the glue from the tape. So you're just going to get a little dollop of coconut oil and you're going to put it on top of the tape, like so. And this process takes a long time, like a solid, probably as long as it takes to actually tape your nose, but it's just as important that you do this the right way, because if you like rip the tape off of your nose, basically, first of all, you can damage the skin, which if you have to tape for weeks, if not months on end, you don't want to do that at all. You want to be very gentle with the skin underneath here. And as well, it can actually damage your results because it separates the skin from your new like nose structure, bone and cartilage. So you don't want to do that. You want to be very gentle. No matter if you feel like you can rip it off and it's not gonna like hurt you, don't. It's not worth it. So you're gonna soak the whole thing in coconut oil. Make sure to get the tip. And what this does is it eventually breaks down the adhesive that lays underneath it, but it's got to soak through like the tape itself before it gets to the adhesive, so it's quite time consuming, but it's worth it. And I concentrate on rubbing on the edges of the tape around so that it lifts a little bit and I can kind of like get my finger underneath there and push without actually tugging. I'd say the first layer of tape is kind of like the only one you can be a little bit more like rough with, because it's not actually pulling on anything other than, you know, the layer of tape underneath that one. So, but still very gentle, more like pushing than pulling to get your finger underneath it and working your way around everything like that. And then as you can see, it just kind of like ends up flopping off. There we go, that's layer 1 and half of layer 2. When you take off your tape, you'll see from the sponge that there's a slight indent in your nose, like a square, like you'll probably see it pretty well there. Like, can you see the squareness of it? It's normal, it's because you've distributed the pressure from the tape. So don't freak out, it does go away. You don't end up with a square nose. Okay, and that's it. That's all of it removed. So as you can see, you covered in oil. Let's grab a little cotton pad to wipe this off. Okay, so I go in with a dry cotton pad and I just wipe off the excess oil. It drips down like your whole face, to be honest with you. It is quite a messy process. And then I go again with my micellar water, just to get most of the oil off. And that's it. And as you can see, like you'll see the lines in the tape, like it usually looks way worse than this. I've only had it on an hour because I don't need to tape anymore. But if I'd had this on overnight or for 24 hours, like you would see clear lines here, and as well a much more marked like square looking nose because of the sponge, but it all goes down after about half an hour max. And you'll end up with quite a skinny looking nose. The swelling will come back the longer you leave it uncovered, but yeah. So that's how I remove my tape and apply my tape. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you've got any questions, please do leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer it. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm brand new here on YouTube, clearly. Bye!